Hi, and welcome to the Cliffs Resort. I'm Chef Gregg of Marisol Restaurant and Lounge. Just going to do a little cooking demonstration for you today on one of our items that we have, roast chicken from Shelton Farms. Today we're going to be preparing it with potato gnocchi, some truffle gnocchi, Brussels sprouts, Perez carrots, and some natural reduction. Everybody can relate to a roast chicken. Just the way that you do it and how you farm or how you get the chicken is what's important, knowing where it comes from. These are actually Shelton Farms chickens. We use these in the restaurant. Basically, it's a 2 to 3 pound chicken. And what I like to do is I like to take a little bit of butcher's twine and truss it. Because if you can't truss a chicken, who can you truss? So what you're going to do is basically take the chicken around the neck like this, flip it over, come up, crisscross, and then tie each leg and go around. And one thing about tying the chicken or trussing a chicken is that it forms it and it promotes even cooking. And it sort of holds it all together. So we're going to tie it up around the legs, make another knot, and then go around the legs, around the breast, flip it over, and then tie another knot in the back, a half knot, and then you just want to do a half turn to lock the knot in place. And then one more, and then you can cut the excess string off. Then flip it around and tuck the wings in. And place the chicken in the pan. And now it's ready to be seasoned. So we're going to season it with is a little bit of kosher salt. I really like using kosher salt a lot too because you can actually feel it when you're adding the salt through your hands. If you use an iodized salt, it has more of I would say a salty taste, but it is heavier in salt flavor than kosher salt. And when you go to feel what you're putting on, you don't have any feel through your fingers. So everybody always asks me, Greg, how can I cook? I need a recipe. Seasoning is really important. And kosher salt, having a dish of kosher salt in your kitchen or by your side automatically helps you become a better cook. And then also have a little bit of rosemary. Rosemary, especially here in the Central Coast, grows everywhere. If it's not in your yard, go to your neighbor's yard because chances are it's in one of the two. But what you like to do is just take a little bit of rosemary, go against the grain, take it, chop it up. After it's chopped, you just sort of want to sprinkle it nicely. With the chicken too, when you're seasoning the chicken, don't be afraid to use your hands and really rub the seasoning, the salt, and the pepper into the skin of the chicken until it's almost dissolved where it doesn't feel grainy at all. It means that the salt is getting into the skin, and that's really what you want. And then the chicken is ready to be placed in the oven. And what you want to do is around 350 degrees, I'd say for around 30 to 35 minutes, depending if you're cooking on convection or convection. Another good way to tell when a chicken is done is that hold the chicken up basically like this in the pan, take a tongs, go hold it about 45 degrees, let the juices come out of the chicken, and when the juices run clear and not bloody, that means that the chicken is done. A lot of people will take a temperature of it. That's the easiest way that I've learned probably since when I was 15 years old cooking chickens. I have one done already earlier, and basically you can see the rosemary and the roast chicken is ready to go. So we're going to let this chicken rest for a little bit because it is cooked, and we're going to move on to the potato gnocchi. What I have is 2 baked potatoes. I like baking the potatoes versus boiling the potatoes because in the gnocchi you don't want a lot of moisture. So baking the potato is a dry method of cooking. It's going to keep the potato more dry than boiling it and have excess water in it. And then here I have a potato mill. If you don't have a potato mill, it's okay. You could basically just take a old-fashioned masher and mash your own potatoes very fine. But this works pretty good. So you're going to take a spoon, take the potato, put the potato right into the potato mill, leaving obviously the skin not into the gnocchi because it'll clog up the mill. And really you can do this with any type of potato. It doesn't have to be a russet potato. Sometimes I like using purple potatoes, and you sort of take those and almost cook them the day before, let them cool in the cooler overnight. You get a really nice purple color. Sometimes in the restaurant we do that as well. So then to season these, we have a little bit of truffle. You can use truffle oil if you don't have the truffle. I like using the black truffle because it creates a really nice texture actually in the gnocchi. And we'll discard our skins. And then we have our mill, so now we're going to mill the potatoes just to get them fine. And Williams-Sonoma has really nice potato mills for around $30, just for not so industrial, more for home use. If you are looking for a potato mill. And we'll set that aside. Now with our potato, the gnocchi should basically be more about the potato than about anything else. So the majority potato, we'll crack 1 egg into it, preferably no shell, and a little bit of flour. Again, not too much flour. I think that's the biggest mistake that people make when they make gnocchi is that they put too much flour. A good gnocchi, you should take it, put it in your mouth, put it to the roof of your mouth, and it should break with using your tongue. And then basically I just have some truffles. Again, if you can't afford the fresh truffles, a lot of us can't. You can buy a product, either truffle shavings or peelings that we like to use, and then use a little bit of white truffle oil or black truffle oil, works just as great. So I'll add these in there as well. And then we'll begin to stir this here. Stir the egg, the potato, and the flour all together. That truffle smells great. And basically you just want it to come together. And when you add the flour, add it in small quantities because you can always add more flour, but you can never take it out. So you can see how the mixture is a little wet right here. So we just want to add a little more flour. Just till it comes together. And then basically dust the area that you're going to be working on. You can place some of the mixture here. And then just sort of roll it out like a snake. Have your pot of water, and the green pot there is where we're going to be actually blanching the gnocchi. And then have a bowl of ice ready to stop the cooking method, because after they're blanched and cooked, then we're going to sear them to put our dish together. And then using a chef knife, just go and cut the gnocchi pretty much in any shape that you want. I mean, I like sort of smaller pieces, bite-sized pieces. You don't want anything too big. A traditional gnocchi, you'd use a fork after this method, and using a fork, or when you see a ridge on a gnocchi, it's basically used to keep the sauce that they're tossed in, because you have pretty much, a rectangle or an oval shape that's smooth. The sauce is going to go right off them, so they take a fork and indenture the gnocchi a little bit, and when you toss them with the sauce, it holds the sauce better. So here I have my boiling water, and then I just sort of give them a pinch as I pick them up. Just in the two ends. Okay, I'll throw those into the water. Let them cook for a couple of seconds. After they're blanched, you'll notice that they start to float to the top of the water, and that's when you know that they're almost cooked 100%. So when they're all floating up on top, then you basically want to take them and then go into the ice water bath, and then we'll saute them. Speaking of saute, we'll get our carrots ready for the dish. So we'll just turn this burner on here. And basically, these are Perez Farm carrots. So this is actually called a midnight carrot. When people look at them, they say, oh, is that a beet or a carrot? These are just carrots that are very dark in color, purple carrot. And again, I like leaving the skin on these baby carrots because a lot of the nutrients are in there. And then just a little bit of butter. And we'll take the gnocchi into the ice water bath. Get a little butter in another hot pan. And while the gnocchis are cooling just a little bit, the carrots look pretty good. And we'll basically break down our chicken. And again, the carcass of the chicken you can reserve for your sauce. So what you want to do is the string is still on the chicken, so just go in and remove the string, cutting it by the legs first and making sure that you get the legs, because we basically took that and did it, ground it twice. And in our hot water, what we'll do is we'll take a couple Brussels sprouts. Those are in season right now. These are from Hariyashi Brothers. Like going to the farmers markets a lot. Two great Saturday markets are Templeton and San Luis on Madonna Plaza. They're probably two that I go to most. Los Osos on Mondays is also good. Tuesdays in Paso Robles. And Wednesdays in Atascadero. All farmer markets that I've been to before. Then right through the center of the chicken, pressing down, coming across. This is ready here. Get our gnocchis. You really want a hot pan. Don't be afraid of the smoke when you're cooking, especially sauteing gnocchis. What you don't want is you don't want any ice cubes in that water. You just get these going, then we'll go back to the chicken again. Cooking them in butter, you want to basically brown. And that's why I love gnocchis too, because they're sort of nice and crunchy on the outside and really soft in the center. Okay, back to our chicken, and we'll sort of toss our gnocchis here too and watch those. As you can see, I cut the chicken in half, and now just using your hands, you basically just want to take the carcass out of the chicken and reserve this for your sauce. And it just sort of rolls right out. Okay? So then this would be one order of chicken, or half chicken. And again, if you want to separate the breast from the thigh, you can do that. If you're doing it at home, obviously you can do this ahead of time. So there you have those two. Turn that down a little bit. Our carrots are ready here. And put those there. So now we just need another pan on for our sauce. And take the carcass of the chicken. And a little bit of chicken stock. Any type of chicken stock is good. Even if it comes from any type of the canned chicken stock in the store. Or if you wanted to use the product Better Than Bouillon that's found in the dairy section. It's actually a paste, and then you dilute that with water. Or really the best way to do it is you could sort of make it yourself. So we have our chicken stock. Our gnocchis are caramelizing right there. We have our carrots, and then we have the sauce that needs to heat up here. You can always even add a little bit of rosemary in there too. We'll set our gnocchis aside. And then we're pretty much ready for a plate up of the dish. So what I like to do is just sort of set the gnocchis on the plate first. Again, they're very delicate too, which is a good thing. Set those there. Just hit them with a little bit of salt. I like to season during and after when I do that as well. The sauce is reducing. So normally you'd want to cook this a little more. I have another hot pan that I'm going to reduce it faster in. So just get a little bit of the sauce. And then we have the carrots, which you see the beautiful purple color. Sort of just stick those out so when we place the chicken on there, you can still see the carrots. And then our sauce, take 2 pieces of butter. Butter is great to finish sauces with. I know it's you may want to use olive oil or something else, but instead of using, a roux or flour, just butter is a thickener by itself. Plus, it adds that richness to the dish. And who doesn't like butter? So then we'll take our half chicken, put it sort of right on top of the gnocchi so you get to see everything. See some gnocchi, see some potato, and then you see our sauce is starting to thicken up there where it's not too thick. And just sort of go right over the chicken. It's almost like a nage, which is basically a stock with butter, fish stock or chicken stock. And then we'll take some of these little sprouts, Brussels sprout leaves that are nice and green, reserving a little bit of sauce left in the pot. Go back to our salt, season those guys up, give them a quick toss, and exactly 19 leaves per plate. Just kidding. Just sort of a little bit of color and a little bit of flavor. Be amazed on the flavor that a little Brussels sprout leaf has. You sort of get the sweetness of the carrots, the truffle flavor, the gnocchi, and then this wonderful cabbage flavor from the Brussels sprout leaves. So it's one of many dishes in Marisol Restaurant and Lounge. Hope you enjoy your stay at the Cliffs Resort. And better yet, hope to meet you in the restaurant and lounge.